For quite some time we've been hearing about and talking about and discussing climate change. There are several camps that have different theories on what has brought about climate change, whether it's real, whether it's a fraud, whether it's a natural occurrence that happens every couple of 100 years. Let's leave all of that to one side. Let's forget the skeptics and forget the pro-people and their reasons for whether they do or don't believe about climate change. One of the most dangerous things that's to come out of this discussion is a treaty called the Climate Change Treaty, known as the Copenhagen Treaty, which our politicians have debated recently in Parliament, but it appears that those politicians are now in Copenhagen and are going to sign the Copenhagen Treaty, even though they claim, oh, it's okay, it's a non-binding agreement that they're coming to, and they'll worry about a binding agreement sometime down the track. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't sign a contract unless it's binding. The Copenhagen Treaty, binding or otherwise, needs to be examined very carefully, because it's not about climate change. It's using the climate change topic as a mask to cover its real activities that are outlined throughout the climate change policy and throughout the treaty. Let's just look at Article 6, Copenhagen Facility. Facility, what does that mean? It sounds like something out of a science fiction. Article 6, Copenhagen Climate Facility. Paragraph 1. A Copenhagen Climate Facility, hereinafter referred to as the facility, is hereby established. To avoid dangerous climate change and build climate resilience, the way society is structured will need to change fundamentally. From investment patterns to development programs. This cannot be accomplished by the fragmented set of existing institutions. In order to enhance the implementation of the Convention in accordance with the Bali Action Plan and its 4 building blocks, a new institution, the Copenhagen Climate Facility, is needed. Bali Action Plan, they're the people that tried to blow us up at one stage, aren't they? Let's look at Article 6, Paragraph 2. The facility shall enjoy such legal capacity as is necessary for the exercise of its functions and the protection of its interests. In particular, the capacity to enter into contracts to acquire and dispose of movable and immovable property, and to institute legal proceedings in defence of its interests. Now what that means is that once the countries sign this agreement, the facility, or the people who run the facility, will have the right to go into any country, seize any assets, seize anything movable or immovable, and they can have whatever power is necessary to achieve their goals and to protect their interests. Their interests, not our interests, their interests. Now let's read on a little further. Paragraph 3. The facility shall have A. An executive committee as the supreme body of the facility to supervise and monitor the implementation of operational policies, guidelines and administrative arrangements, including the disbursement of resources. In other words, where the money's going to go, some in my pocket, some in your pocket, and some into the bank. Maybe the World Bank. Disbursement to where? It doesn't outline where the disbursement is. At at least 4 boards to assist parties in fulfilling their actions, aims, objectives and commitments in accordance with the provisions of this protocol related to mitigation, adaptation, reduction emissions from deforestation and technology respectively. A committee for reporting and review to monitor and verify reporting from parties submitted in accordance with Articles 3, 4 and 9. National Action Plans. A registry of nationally appropriate mitigation actions undertaken by parties not included in Annex B, and financial, technology and capacity building support activities undertaken by parties included in Annex B, and E. An executive secretary and such staff as shall be necessary for the facility to carry out its functions. Now, there's no limit on numbers here. They can employ an army or multiple armies across the world to ensure that their goals are met. Now, let's have a look at Article 7. Paragraph 1. Finance. A massive scaling up of financial resources from both the public and private sectors is required in order to adequately, sufficiently and swiftly reduce anthropogenic GHG emissions, adapt to climate change and achieve the ultimate objective of the Convention and the shared vision. Developing country parties will require significant, stable and predictable financial support from industrialized country parties in order to fulfill their commitments under this protocol. Now, I won't need to read on any much further than that, other than the fact that they're going to start with $160 billion per year. That's just the start, but as you saw before, they have the capability of dramatically increasing the amount of money that they require. Now, let's go back to Article 2 or Article 3. Article 3, paragraph 7 outlines what the ultimate goal that they refer to is. Article 3, paragraph 7 is Zero Carbon Action Plan.